What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we are going to be going over none other than Japanese meta decks. It is Japanese Tuesday, so we are going to take 3 decks we're going to look at, and we're going to break them down. Let's look at them and dive right into the video, shall we? So first off, let's talk about none other than the MetalGarurumon X-Antibody, shall we? We know what this deck does. It has a beefy top end with a big blocker that unsuspends itself, so it can block or attack into your opponent yet again for digivolving on top of a MetalGarurumon. And when this Digimon becomes unsuspended, if this Digimon has MetalGarurumon or X-Antibody in its Digi-Evolution cards, return all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level to their owner's hand. So it bounces wide boards, which can really help you out. The only time this really doesn't do any benefit for you is when it comes down to the cross heart deck. Or, because when they bounce it back to hand, they're just resourcing the stuff back. But it does help out if they're already in like ×4 or ×5, because bouncing that, if that's the only Digimon on board, that means all the sources fall off and they don't go back to like the tamers or hand. So it's just something to keep in mind, just how to play against that deck. You just need to bob and weave, pretty much. They are using 2EX1 MetalGarurumon because when Digivolving, gain 1 memory for every 4 cards in your hand. And then when attacking, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand and a tamer in play, return one of your opponent's Digimon with an on-deletion effect to the bottom of its owner's deck. And then trash all Digi-Evolution cards of that Digimon. So basically being able to spin back any on-deletion Digimon, really powerful, the good stuff. It's basically a Garurumon deck because they are playing the Tsunomon. So while this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, gain plus 1000 DP. Gabumon here is reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Garurumon in name, and 1 with Omnimon in its name among them to their hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom deck in any order. Really solid. Using X-Antibody just to be able to digivolve it and make more stacks and get some more draw power in, especially since it's free. So on play, when digivolving, reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 X-Antibody card and 1 card with Garurumon or Omnimon in its name among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. Very solid, very continuous plays. Gabumon from starter deck 8. While you have 8 or more cards in your hand, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. Garurumon, when digivolving, if this Digimon has Gabumon in its Digi-Evolution cards, gain 1 memory. So, really powerful. This is similar to the Greymon aspect. And then, while this Digimon has Garurumon or Omnimon in its name, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP. So, basically, all turns, by the way. So, this thing becomes beefier and beefier, so they can't just swing into it, which is very important. They also have Garurumon X-Antibody, which digivolves on top of any Garurumon for a 0 cost. And then all turns, while this Digimon with Garurumon or Omnimon in its name would be deleted by battle, you may trash 2 cards with the same level in this Digi-Evolution cards to prevent it. So if it battles in security or against a bigger Digimon with equal power, just another way of outing that status. Promo Garurumon. Little fun fact to get with Promo Garurumon and Promo WereGarurumon. Both cards are not legal in Ultimate Cups or their major bigger events, for the reason is that these were promo cards handed out in a very unique way, and they weren't easily accessible to players in Japan, so they banned these cards similar to other cards. They just you can't use this, so this is why the deck isn't really topping any Ultimate Cups. This will top local events and stuff like that, but it cannot top an Ultimate Cup unless they legalize the Garurumon and the WereGarurumon. So when attacking, if this Digimon contains Garurumon, draw 1. It's not once per turn, so if you can restand multiple times, guess what? You're going to be drawing a bunch of cards. Then you have WereGarurumon X-Antibody. So when digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. Then if this Digimon has WereGarurumon or X-Antibody in its Digi-Evolution card, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So being able to bounce back some of the pieces, it's good when you're not facing Exoheart because you're just re-synergizing their hands and stuff like that. Bouncing back doesn't always mean the best situation, but sometimes it does make it so they have to play from hand, but they don't care. So when attacking, wear Garurumon promo. So when attacking, if this Digimon has Garurumon in its Digi-Evolution cards, unsuspend this Digimon. Since we're going to make him a little more beefier with all these added bonuses from like the Gabumon, Garurumon, and the Tsunomon, he can swing into the security with very little fear. And then while you have 8 or more cards in your hand, this Digimon gains security +1. And then you do have Wear Garurumon Sagittarius mode, so Digivolving on top of a Wear Garurumon. This card is also treated as Wear Garurumon. And then when Digivolving, if you have a Tamer in play, return 2 of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to hand. What's really nice is it also has that preventative effect that the X-Antibody does, so that really does help out. Teching in Dexmon for wide board matchup or Tamer heavy matchups because he's just such a out card, it's not even funny. Omnimon is Blitz, when Digivolving on suspend this Digimon, and then Blitz in for game. And then it has a small self-protection. Omnimon X-Antibody, being able to Digivolve on top of any of your Omnimons. Well, you only have one target. Or Digivolving on your MetalGarurumon or X-Antibody Garurumon just for a cost of 6. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the DP less than or equal to this Digimon. And then when your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may trash 2 cards of this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards to end the attack. Since we are X-Antibody climbing, that means we have ways of going up. And with ways to go up, means we have more sources to go. So we can double evolve on our level 4s, on our 3s, on our 5s, on our 6s. So it just, all in all, great stuff. You have a lot of resources to play Protect games. So if they try to swing in for game, you can just Protect and then just win through there. Plasma Decker Launcher. So when you would use this card, if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, reduce the memory cost by 2. So this becomes a 5 cost. Return one of your opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon to its owner's hand. And then return one of your opponent's Digimon to its owner's hand as a security effect. Just basically Kakaitis Breath 2.0. So, Metal Storm. When you would use this card, if you have a Digimon with X-Antibodies Evolution cards, reduce the memory cost by 2. So, becomes a 5 cost. Return one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon to its owner's hand, then unsuspend one of your Garurumons in its name. And then you can activate the main effect. If this gets popped in opponent's turn, that means you get another blocker swing by the looks of it, right? This Digimon until the end of your opponent's next turn. So yeah, if they swing and this is on board, you get another swing in. Dedicated plan to shut down option decks, which, yes, Yellow Hybrid is a thing. So they want to shut it down. They'll use a dedicated plan with the combination of Matt and Sora. So if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has 8 or more cards in hand, gain 1 memory. Then when one of your blue or red Digimon becomes unsuspended, you may suspend this Tamer to return one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon to their hand. Well, sorry, not lower, just level 3s in general. And then they do run the X-Antibody just so that blue hybrid can't strip anything away. And it just helps you warp into one of your other X-Antibodies. So just keep that in mind. It's just another fantastic way of getting into like X-Antibody here, And then you have CoolBoy. So reveal 3 cards on the top of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with X-Antibody trait and 1 option card with X-Antibody in its traits to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom deck in any order. And then when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with the same level with X-Antibody in trait, you may suspend this Tamer, gain 1 memory, draw a card. So basically, your Matt will give you an extra memory. Cool Kid will help you when you digivolve up out of raising. So you'll gain more momentum, more draws, and then you can just be, I have this massive hand, deal with me kind of style of play. And that's just blue in a nutshell, this format. Next, let's talk about it. DReaper had very interesting plays here. This one got 2nd place, if I remember correctly, at an Ultimate Cup in Japan. So we know what DReaper kind of does because we're dealing with it in our format now. So Mama is just, if you don't have Mother DReaper in play, place 1 searcher from, if you don't have another Mother in play, you get to place 1 searcher from in play or from your hand under this Digimon's bottom Digi-Evolution card. And then your turn, when you would play a DReaper in its traits from your hand, you may reduce the play cost by 1 for each of these Digi-Evolution cards. So Basically, once per turn, you get to play these guys a little bit cheaper and freer. Fleet is just helping you search for your searchers. Bubbles is helping fuel Mama faster. Jerry is to fuel Mama faster, get you the pieces you need. Gatekeeper, just basically, if this thing is revealed in security and comes out for free, you're going to cry. The recovery +1 is annoying, but it's also that security -1 effect. The more gatekeepers you have up, the worse time you're going to have. Reaper is just your end game finisher. In the mirror match, it's really annoying, but just something to keep in mind. Neo Devimon's in here for the fact of the matter is you have Exo Heart, Yellow Hybrid still being one of the top decks. So while having Neo Devi on board, they're basically, when your opponent plays a Tamer, gain 3 memory. So they're going to want to play Tamers on their turn just to fuel up. So as long as Neo Devi is on board, you're gaining memory, passing them the turn. So that 4 cost now becomes a 7 cost. That 3 cost becomes a 6 cost. And it just becomes really expensive for them. When your opponent's Tamer becomes suspended, gain 1 memory. Just keep that in mind. This card here, Marine Angemon, for each of your opponent's Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards, recovery +1. This card, in fact, can't increase the number of cards of your security stack to 6 or more. So basically, it can get you to 5. So really good to be able to get to 5 cards, especially if they hit you hard enough. It'll be able to reset everything. So it's really good to be able to recover, and that's just so important. Dexamon being on play when Digivolving Digi-Evolution 1. This comes in cheaper, and then at the end of the opponent's turn, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So this constantly just board controls and board wipes to your opponent, which is huge. We know what Searcher does. Basically, it's a draw 1, and it can either come in for 1 if you don't have another Searcher in, and then, you know, the drill, and it's just all about giving boosts to your Reapers all day long. A dedicated plan shuts down options when you go in for your Reaper kill turn. Crimson Blaze to clear out all your opponent's Digimon, and especially since it gets freer. X-Antibody is in for against certain matchups, especially if they have a way of removing sources, especially since we're getting into more source removal heavy formats. Maybe it might be smart to tech in X-Antibody. So just one of those things to think about. And then they play Hero to gain Hero for the fact of this is not the right Hero. It's supposed to be the other Hero. Sorry about that. It is the Hero that starts your turn with 3 memory. Let me fix that. Hero. Come out, Hero. It's this Hero. So basically it helps get you to 3, set your memory to 3, and then you're just basically golden from there, so you're not wasting too much resources. And it just boosts up Dexamon, Neo Devi, and Marine Anja. That's really all it's in here for. Nothing too crazy. So that's about it. And then let's dive into Purple Rush coming back. Basically, what I figured out is that the deck is just going to apply a bunch of pressure by discarding and stuff like that. You play Don Devi in the case of long security matchups and stuff like that. Don Devi comes out. Your opponent, just every time they swing into you, they're losing a security. Well, once per turn at least. And then if he's deleted, trash 2 your opponent's Digimon. 2 cards in their hand. Being able to trash cards in their hand really does help out. You got Demimera, trigger draw 1, then trash 1. Gazemon's just shutting down anything that isn't a memory tamer. Soundbirdmon trashing your options to gain a memory. So when attacking. Psychmon being able to, you can't reduce play cost. Impmon promo, at the end of the battle, you may play 1 purple level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. Then add this card to your hand. Sistermon Blanc, on play, draw 2, all turns. It's not even that. It's just the trash 1 card from your hand, draw 2 for its on play. Really good. Just being able to discard fodder, fuel up so your drag trades can get really powerful pretty quickly. Troopermon's in here, so he's going to be played for free with this Troopermon, because on deletion you may play 1 Troopermon from your hand without paying its cost. And then you have this Troopermon, So when your opponent plays a Digimon or a Tamer, by trashing one of this Digimon's Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. So basically, you can get at least push it to your turn. And then on deletion, save. So it goes underneath your Tamer. Opponent's turn, when this Digimon card is trashed by an effect, gain 1 memory. So, just all in all, good stuff. Gingamon Promote, just for that rush play with Eismons, or the way you're going to call stuff with Underworld Calling. On deletion, Scatter Mode, draw a bunch of cards. Eismon comes out for free with Scatter Mode, as long as there's one in trash. Ogremon's in here, so you trash one card from your hand to give this Digimon extra security checks. And then when attacking, you may trash a card from your hand. It doesn't matter for this inheritable, but the security check does. Don Devi, we've already talked about. Dexamons, so if they go wide, you just go, boom, he's coming out. He's going to answer everything you do. So, deal with it. Grizzly Wing, basically play a level 3 from your trash. So, you're basically cycling these in just to constantly poke in. Jack Ray to go wide and get your Don Devi. But to be honest with you, I don't even think he played Don Devi much. Demonic Devastation, this is just so you can constantly just reapply pressure. If one dies, congratulations, pop it, restand. If it survived, as long as you have another Digimon, as long as 2 Digimon survived, you get a multi-attack session, especially under an Ogremon. 2 checks is huge. Ultimate Calling, we don't care about this being trashed from our hand, drawing a card, but we do care about if you play for its activation in security. You may play 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. And then we do have Mat, so when one of your Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this Tamer, gain 1 memory. All in all, just good stuff going around. I mean, hey, it's not a bad deck. It's very powerful. I mean, purple, just being able to recycle, regenerate everything. We have proven in the past that cards for one replacing themselves is huge. And that's going to change a lot of the format thinking and stuff like that. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the decks we showed off today. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!